Well, it's an old idea because I've been thinking about the environment ever since I was very small. So the moment I heard that the ecological footprint can be tested, it was like, we can do something with it. And so it slowly evolved, and then we had a precise idea, and we were lucky enough that we can put this into practice. Oh, well, that's a long story. Actually, coincidence. When I was at drama school in England, I remember one afternoon we were sitting together and someone said, "Where is Romania?" And someone else said, "Is Romania in Europe?" So it's been, people talked about France, they talked about Germany, England, maybe even Sweden, but they simply never talked about Romania or Bulgaria, any of these countries. And I thought, it would be lovely to go to Romania, but it's dangerous. How do I get there? How do you do this? And then it started with a total coincidence. And that is, someone said there's a Romanian actress in Vienna and she's looking for a job and whether she can work with us. And I thought, well, let's try. And this worked out very well. And then she loved our idea of working with children. And so she thought, let's start it in Romania. And we started with almost nothing, just with idealism. And there were a few lovely ladies who thought this is a great idea, we'll carry this to Romania. And then it grew. It's like, I always say, Romania has become like a fairy tale to me. At first, there were just the good fairies and everything was positive. Then, of course, I've also encountered the bad sides, the bad fairies. But when I say, on the whole, the good and the bad, so far the good outweighs the bad. And it's been a wonderful idea. And I think mainly, of course, there's a beautiful countryside and there are many things objectively that are great about Romania. As someone very learned once said, Romania should be one of the richest countries in Europe because it's got so much. It's got very fertile earth, it's got these wilderness of beautiful forests. It's got a lot of resources, but it's got a very unhappy history, at least in recent years, a very unhappy history. But why I love Romania is because of my human contact. It's the emotions that engulf me like a warm cloud of happiness. And I've just met so many wonderful people there, and I found the children very responsive. I love everything about the children we work with. I love the way they move. I love the way they're passionate. I love the way they are prepared to work very hard. I love the way, if I say, look, if we do a difficult Shakespeare monologue, you've got to do the groundwork. You've got to do the text work. There is a intrinsic melody in that beautiful language, which makes Shakespeare quite unique. I would say all writing very unique. And they go and do the work, and then they are really brilliant. So I can say Romania is a jewel. Oh, very simply. Because there is a place that Teatrul Vienes has in the north of Romania, which is a very, very special village called Breb. It's in Maramureș, which is also an extraordinary part of Romania. It's very close to the Ukrainian border. And there, something is preserved that has been destroyed in Western Europe. And that is the art of craftsmanship, which is, of course, super eco-friendly. 10 years ago, people would have said, it's backward, they don't have enough cars and they don't have enough factories, etc. But now people realize it's beautiful, it's a rarity. It's people can make clay walls. They can, with very few tools, do really difficult carpentry. So they have a knowledge of something, of sustainability, how to live without ruining the planet. And I think now the figures have come up over the past years, how bad it is, how we badly stewardshiped the earth. We need solutions. That's why we go to REFE. It's very simple. If we want to survive, we have to learn about sustainability. Well, 20 young people, 10 from Bucharest, 10 from Iași, will be measured in their ecological footprint. Whatever they use, whatever resources they use in their daily lives in urban surroundings. Then in REFE, in Maramureș, in this beautiful countryside, and it's almost an eco-village, REFE, they will be taught in theory and in practice about, I'm saying in theory, they will be taught about the environmental issues, and in practice, they will be taught about natural building materials. Now, you could say this is not relevant because a 14-year-old child won't build their own home, but it trains their eye and it makes them susceptible, sensitive towards the entire ecological project. They will learn about clothing. You know, it's better to buy or to make their own clothes, and we could invent a new trend, or we could create a new trend in clothing. You know, I feel all possibilities are open. They will learn about food. They will learn about transport. They will learn about energy use, how to reduce it, how to make it sustainable, or how to help reduce the ecological footprint. Of course, then they'll be tested again, and a year later they'll be tested for a third time. We'll also try 2 days there, 2 separate days, where we'll try to, to live with 0 emissions, if that's possible. I mean, this is so exciting. As someone I know the other day said, "What's environment got to do with the theatre?" Then I said, "Everything." She said, "Everything?" I said, "Everything." And I think the environment is above everything. It's our sky, it's our earth, it's our sea. But in practical terms is, as I realize that our way of working with children helps their development, body, soul, and mind. And then we did 2 big studies with several universities, and the outcomes were wonderful, better than I imagined, because we focused the children and we gave them, in combination with neurologists and psychologists, so we knew with every exercise what happens in the brain. So we worked in a very focused way, and the children responded in a very focused way, and the outcome was absolutely brilliant. Now, we are not geniuses, absolutely not, but we knew what we were doing. And from that led on to a big educational initiative in Romania. And since then, we've got access to thousands of teachers. As the environment became such an issue over the last few years, it then happened that we applied with this idea of reducing the ecological footprint through Ecoawareness. We got the project supported by EUCE, by the European Climate Initiative.